Join us this week as we explore Oban on the west coast of Scotland. We tour the city, look for some supposedly hidden gems.
I feel light too.
Andrew gets stuck. And we find the most epic place to do some bike riding and acro yoga. We're on our way to the top-rated restaurant in Oban, but we are like the worst planners ever and didn't look that they don't open until 9. Just here to remind you, if you don't like planning, you can still travel the world. So we're killing some time in the city, and it is so peaceful here in Oban in the morning. You can just hear the water flowing, the seabirds chirping, and everyone is just walking around enjoying the morning.
Alright, so we got 2 scones and a couple coffees, and we just met Catherine and Ross, who actually have their own farm, and that's where all of their food and their ingredients, right, come from. It's actually their own farm. So highly recommend going into a Taste of Argyle. It is an amazing restaurant and a very friendly couple. Now let's actually go ahead and go on top of Oban.
To get to the top of Oban, you want to look for Jacob's Ladder, which is right over here. And if you couldn't have guessed, we have a bit of a climb. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46.
Taking a break here. Luckily, I see benches where we can sit and take a breather. How many steps are we in?
Like 20.
It's about 145 steps to the top. So, yeah, taking rest breaks, sipping on our coffee on the way up.
Made it, but we are still not to the top. We have a 5 more minute walk, 0.2 miles to get to the top of Oban.
But it said it's mostly flat, so...
I really don't believe that.
I know, I'm
it looks
not sure.
up, but it's so gonna be worth it. It is something truly extraordinary and something you would not expect to see in Oban, Scotland.
No, not at all.
Let's go. Welcome to the top of Oban.
It's a beautiful view.
As awesome as it was to sit in the window of the Colosseum, it was a little cool. I don't think that granite insulates. So we moved up here to have our scones. Oh my god. This is what I've been waiting for since landing in the UK. It's like soft and fluffy and creamy. It's heaven.
So you might be wondering why there is a massive Colosseum on the top of Oban. I was thinking, oh, like Romans had traveled up there and built it for amazing theaters on top of the town, or, you know, that there was gladiator fights.
Are you not entertained?
And I was mistaken.
The reality is there was a gentleman in the 1800s, a very wealthy gentleman, who wanted to build a monument for his family to be remembered, and thus we have McCaig's Tower overlooking all of Oban with glorious gardens in the middle to just sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we are now off to something really unique that you can do in Oban. Plus, we're gonna find a bit of a hidden gem.
A local told us about this and said that it's something that most visitors and tourists miss, and it's something that we have to go to, she said. So I'm pretty excited to discover this.
Lucky for us, we parked our car nearby because the only free parking in Oban, at least that we could find, is up here in this area. So we don't have to do all those steps back down. You definitely don't need a car if you were just staying in Oban. However, we would probably recommend having a car to see all of the Highlands and all of the west coast of Scotland because there is a lot to offer. And it comes in quite handy when your next place is like a 5-7 mile walk.
Oh God. How did I know you were videoing this?
So this feels
Officially
like
parked.
not so much a hidden gem.
I feel lied to.
We had to park like on the side of a cliff because the lot was so full.
I'm very far down.
I'm sure it'll still be delightful. We made it on the ferry. They only let 12 people on the ferry at a time, and I think it's like 5 minutes or something. And it was £7 total for the both of us to go there and back. Not bad.
See you later.
Welcome to Kerrera.
Kerrera.
Kerrera. This is the closest island to Oban. You can see the ferry took us like maybe 5 minutes, besides like the hour in line. And we have a very unique way to explore the island. Let's go find it.
While we are hiking up this hill to our first destination, I'll tell you a little bit about the island. So the Isle of Kerrera actually only has a population of 45 people. The residents are allowed to bring cars onto the isle, however, tourists are not. So anything that you want to see on the Isle of Kerrera either requires you to walk or hike, which is what most people do, or there's another method to get around the island, which we'll show you here in a second.
You can hire an e-bike. You have to reserve it before. They only have 4 bikes on the island, and once you reserve it, you just come into this shed. One second. And here's our bike. They give you instructions, they give you a map, and then they also give you helmets and bike locks. Amazing. Do I look cute?
So cute.
I'm not very good at riding a bike.
Well, you know what they say, it's just like riding a bike. So the very first place that we're going actually has little clues on how to get there. So as you're riding your bike or walking, you pick up these little clues along the path, and they guide you to your first destination.
Look at how glorious this is. It is a little tea garden. We have a menu just here, and then you just walk up to this house and order. I mean, this is like my perfect day. I feel like I'm in a dream. Amazing.
All right. I got Mediterranean or zesty Mediterranean pasta salad, and Megan got
A white bagel. Goat cheese.
oh wow, that's thick goat cheese.
Some pickled red onions, which are my favorite. And some chutney. And some spicy peppers. Before our last stop on this island, or maybe unless we find any more hidden gems, we got some fresh spring water. Tastes like crystallized heaven. Off we go. See you down there. Bike crash. I was doing a sick trick and I just
Couldn't land it?
couldn't land it, couldn't stick the landing, crashed. Round of applause, standing ovation. Truly though, I was literally just standing and I fell over. Just my ego hurts a little bit. It's fine. But we found a castle!
Ta-da!
Welcome to Gylen Castle. Let's go see it!
So Scotland has thousands of castles in it, but for some reason, I never get tired. Every single castle is unique in its own way, and it has a different location, a different view. I mean, it's like, I still feel like a little kid every time I see a castle. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go look into that one. I want to go explore this one. This castle was purely built for defense, right? So you can see the pistol holes and gun loops in the walls. And they started restoring it back in 1995. So why it actually looks, you know, somewhat decent.
We decided to take advantage of this extraordinary view and do some acro yoga next to the castle, a bucket list item we didn't even know we had. We saw so many others having picnics, going on long seaside walks, and even some taking kayaks out into the sea. Whatever you love doing, we definitely recommend carving out some extra time next to Gylen Castle to soak it all in. We even saw some pitching tents for the night to sleep seaside. What a view to wake up to. For us, we had to get our bikes back because the last ferry to Oban was headed out shortly. All right, we've dropped our e-bikes back off into the shed. The last ferry is at 5:30, so you have to drop them off, lock them up, and get to the ferry, or they will leave you on the island, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, unless it starts raining tomorrow.
That also means walking back 2 miles from where we just biked from and going to the inn in case we miss the ferry.
We are going to head back to Oban and go to one last recommended place, and let's hope we catch the ferry.
Yeah, let's run. What are you doing? Come on.
We're not gonna make it.
Apparently we did not need to run. There was quite the line for the ferries. Sure that I don't run over anything because I saw bricks and a hole in front of us. I feel like Austin Powers.
Oh well, thanks. Change of plans and change of outfit. Oban is known as the seafood capital of Scotland. So we were super excited when a local recommended the best seafood restaurant, but then we just found out it's not open today. So womp womp, quick change of plans. We checked into our new Airbnb, which is gorgeous with this beautiful water view, and we're gonna go find some different seafood instead. This is our fork. Okay, but really, we see lines of this restaurant every single day. I don't know how we caught it without a line. My mouth is like watering. I'm gonna go for a chip first. So good. That's really good tartar. Wow. It's crispy. Oh my gosh, it like melts in your mouth. Yeah, that's amazing. So good. Get in there. The fish was delish. We scurried back home for dessert, of course. Our host left us 2 Scottish specialties, shortbread and tea cakes. Shortbread is Andrew's favorite, tea cakes are my favorite. We're pretty exhausted, so we're gonna rest up for an hour or so before the West Coast sunset, because if there's one thing you must see in Oban, it is absolutely the sunset. We hope you enjoyed this video. The sunset was totally worth staying up an hour later. And if you did enjoy this video, like and subscribe. And tune in next week because we are staying in one of the most unique accommodations in the Scottish Highlands.